Parallel lines cut by transversal. Given that the measure of angle 1 is 32 degrees, find each measure. Be sure to give a reason why in sentence form. For example, if angle 1 is 32 degrees, then angle 2 is also 32 degrees because they're corresponding angles. If I take this section and put it on top of this section, they're in the same location, so they're corresponding, which means that they are congruent. Angle 3 is the alternate exterior. They're on opposite sides of the transversal, and they're on outside the parallel lines, so they're alternate exterior, which means that they are congruent. So angle 3 is also 32 degrees. And you would write because alternate exterior angles, it's a symbol for angles, are congruent. That's the symbol for congruent. Alright, the measure of angle 4. I know that it's going to be a linear pair with angle 3, which means that they're supplementary. 180 minus 32 is 148. But the relationship between angle 4 and angle 1, there's no special name for it, so we just write that they're supplementary. The sum of supplementary angles equals 180 degrees. And number 5. 1 and 5 form a straight line, which means that that's a linear pair. If they form a line, it's a linear pair, which means that they're supplementary. So that's 140 degrees. Linear pairs are supplementary. Alright, the next one. Given that the measure of angle 1 is 105, find each measure. Be sure to give a reason why. So number 2, or angle 2, they're right across from each other. They share this point. When they share this point, that means they're vertical, which means they are congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. The measure of angle 3. Put this intersection on top of this intersection. 1 is in the same spot. So it's 105. Because corresponding angles are congruent. Angle 1 and angle 4 are on opposite sides of the transversal. They're both on the outside. So they are alternate exterior angles, which means they're congruent. Congruent means they are the same. And you see that it's a little zigzag. Every other one is congruent to each other. Measure of angle 5, they're on the same side of the transversal, on the outside of the parallel lines. So it is the same side, exterior, which means that they are supplementary. When you have supplementary angles, you subtract your degree from 180, and that gives us 75 degrees. Alright, the next set, 8 through 10. Given that the measure of angle 1 is 15 degrees, find each measure. 1 is 15. 2, 1 and 2 form a linear pair. That's 180 minus 15 because they equal 180 if they form a line. So angle 2 is 165. Because linear pairs are supplementary. 3, 1 and 3 are corresponding, which means that they are congruent. So that's 15 degrees, because corresponding angles are congruent. And 4, 1 and 4 are on opposite sides of the transversal on the outside of the parallel line, which means they're alternate exterior and alternate exterior angles are congruent. So angle 4 is also 15 degrees. And on the back. Find each measure given that the measure of angle 6 is 67 degrees. So 6 is 67 degrees. And 7, they form a line. So that's 180 minus 67, which is 113. Because a linear pair supplementary means it equals 180 degrees when we add the two angles together. 8 and 6 also form a linear pair. So that means also 113 degrees. Because a linear pair is supplementary. When you add those two together, it equals 180 degrees. Alright, remember our explanations are going to be that relationship is supplementary or that relationship is congruent. 6 and 9, they share this point, they're across from each other. So that means that they are vertical. Vertical means that they're congruent. And remember, congruent means that they're exactly the same. Alright, for number 10, if I take this intersection, put it on top of this intersection, 6 will go right on top of 10, so that congruent has to be exactly the same. That means that they are corresponding angles, which means they are congruent. 6 and 11 are on the same side of the transversal on the outside of parallel lines, which means that they are the same side exterior, which means they are supplementary. And supplementary angles, when you add them together, they equal 180. So I'll do 180 minus 67 and get that. Angle 11 is 113 degrees. 6 and 12 are on opposite sides of the transversal and outside the parallel lines, which means they are alternate exterior angles. And alternate exterior angles are congruent, so that means 12 is 67 degrees. And 13, there's no special relationship between the two of them, but we know that this one has to be 113 because the one right beside it is 67, and that's a linear pair. So the relationship between 6 and 13 is just that they are supplementary. So supplementary angles added together equals 180. Alright, and then you didn't have to do the bottom, but I am going to go over this. It says use properties of parallel lines cut by transversal to find the value of x. Be sure to explain why. So, for example, the relationship between these two are alternate exterior, which means that they're congruent. So we set them equal to each other. X minus 8 equals 55. We solve for x by adding into both sides. So for 18, these two are alternate interior angles, which means they're congruent. So the value of 2x plus 4 is equivalent to 140. We subtract 4 from both sides and get 140 minus 4 is 136. Divide by 2. x equals 68. So when you have expressions, you look and see, are they congruent or are they supplementary? If they're congruent, set them equal to each other. If they're supplementary, like example 2, then you add them together, x plus 6 plus 42, set that equal to 180. Then you solve for x. So you just have to look and see if they're congruent or if they're supplementary.